means the person paid the rent of 2.5 million. And I bet you that it's not all your staff that can pay a rent of 2.5 million per annum. Now, the next question is about all individuals must file returns. Individuals must file returns in respect to Section 13 of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. However, these individuals that will file returns, if you're an individual and you are working in a company is obligated to file your returns through the payee system. If you are an individual and you are working, held responsible, not you as an individual. However, if you have other business you are doing, you call it non-employment income, you're obligated to bring information and file additionally to what your employer has filed. So if you are working in a company, your employer has obligation to file your returns as an employee. However, if you have non-employment income, the law says you should provide information on non-employment income, notify your employer, or you go ahead and file additional returns on top of the one your employer has filed. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is employment income and there is non-employment income. The law wants you to pay tax both on your employment income and non-employment. For example, you are working in a company, you are receiving 200,000 every month. The company will be filing returns based on the 200,000. But if you have boutique, you have shop, you have other businesses, the law says you're going to pay tax on those other businesses you are having. That you are working in the company doesn't make you not to pay taxes from other non-employment income. So you have to file returns on those ones. Otherwise, when they catch you, are going to raise assessment. So what they ask employers to be doing from next year is to ask all their employees to fill a form to notify whether they have non-employment income. So as an employer, next year, fill a form and give to all your staff to write whether they have non-employment income. So if they say they don't have, no problem. You file their employment income. Tomorrow, if they catch them, you bring a form to show the revenue authority that they lied and said they don't have non-employment income. So they will be responsible for any trouble that comes out of it. I think I've answered the questions. I don't know whether anyone I skipped out.
Just give me a minute to confirm that. Okay. All right. Okay, you've answered it. The new corpers are not exempted by the law, but at the discretion of their employers. You've answered about the content creators. You've answered about the 500,000 or 20% of annual rent paid by staff. What happens to the landlords? What kind of relief would they have? Someone is asking.
The landlord, under the new law, landlord has no relief any longer. The only thing that will happen is the first 800,000 of landlord income will be 0%. That's only relief granted to landlord. Remember that when they are computing your income tax, the first 800,000 is 0%. That's the only benefit landlord has. The current law where everybody is granted 20% of the total income plus 200,000 has been eliminated from next year. So landlord has no other relief except that first 800,000 of his income you are going to put 0%. That's all.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Prof. Okay, I have some other clarifications you need to make. I want us to also understand that these questions are being asked to the Prof as they come because we couldn't attend to most of them on the chat box. So, Prof, this is around exemption around gifts. Okay, he said clarify the exemption around gifts. How and why?
Around what? Exemption
gifts.
Around what?
Gift items.
Okay, gift. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How can the tax authority determine if there was no exchange of value when gift money was sent or received, whether with a business account or personal account, but mostly with a personal account? Who says that 100 million naira cannot be narrated as a gift on a transaction? Is the question clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Nigeria we don't have gift tax. In Nigeria, we don't have gift tax. So if somebody gives you a gift, it is not taxable. But you have to also prove that it's a gift. For example, if the person is transferring money to you it's advisable the person go to narration and put it gift. Person goes to narration and put it gift. So that when you print it out or when they look at your bank statement, they will see it as a gift. And that is very clear. Nigeria doesn't operate gift tax. We don't operate inheritance tax, unlike in UK. In UK, if your father dash you his house or his car, you're going to pay inheritance tax. Nigeria, we don't operate that system. However, materiality is important. Remember that in accounting, what we call materiality concept. The materiality concept is also applied in taxation. So if the material gift becomes so high, somebody is telling us that 1 billion was given as a gift. The Revenue Authority, for them, 1 billion is too much to be a gift. It's material. In accounting, we say it's material. If something is not too big, it's immaterial. But when something becomes too big, 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, 1 billion as a gift, it becomes material. So at that time, the Revenue Authority can carry out investigation. They can invite the person that gave you that money to confirm that is a gift and why is